Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place, hosted by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, and I'm Marilyn Hemingway, your host for today's show. Very excited about today's topic, entrepreneurship and investment. We have some great guests with us today. They are doing the work in the community. They're doing the entrepreneurship, economic work in the community, and we want to pick their brains. So without further ado, I'll bring on our next guest, Miss Sue Ham of Sue Ham Entertainment. Sue Ham, how are you today?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you so much for having me here on the program. What an honor it is.
Thank you. Well, you honoring me with your presence, so thank you very much. And y'all, I got to say this so everybody can know. I had to compliment Sue Ham. I love her blouse. She is beautiful today, but always. So we got to uplift each other when we can. And our next guest is Miss Moretta Wilson Dorsey, and she is the town manager of the town of Andrews, and she works with Sue Ham and Sue Ham Entertainment. Moretta, good to have you today. So Moretta's driving, so that's why you see her avatar, but she's trying to get in front of that computer right now. Moretta, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you ladies doing?
Awesome.
Doing good. We are doing awesome. So we're going to hop right into it, folks. See, this is a conversation. We just here to talk about what we know, what we're doing, and hopefully we inspire some other folks within our community to step out on faith, step out on their skill set, and make some things happen. Because a gathering place is a gathering of change makers in the Gullah community. Sue Ham, tell us about Sue Ham Entertainment. Tell us about your journey, how you got here to Sue Ham Entertainment.
Oh man, it is my baby. It's so funny, Marilyn. You know, one of the things I love about Facebook, right, is it has these options where you have the memories and you can actually look back and see the things that you've done. And I think for like the last 3 or 4 years, for the last couple of days, over the last 3 or 4 years, I have been posting that I will have the Sue Ham Entertainment Studio. And it's so amazing because last year we actually got a building downtown and opened up our studio. Sue Ham Entertainment is my baby. It is something that was created in 2008 that focuses on entertainment that surrounds stage plays, short films, motivational speaking. And our entertainment is more like edutainment because we educate and we entertain. We educate with classes and workshops, seminars, but we also educate and entertain within the stories that we tell for stage, whether we're doing TV interviews and with the short films that I've written and entered into festivals. But Sue Ham Entertainment, along with the people who have been here for the last 4 or 5 years, have helped to revive the arts in Williamsburg County. And I'm very excited about it. We've gotten children involved. We've gotten adults who had dreams and aspirations of being on stage and being thespians. They were actually able to live out those dreams. And then for me, being from Williamsburg County, I got to actually see a dream come to fruition, one that I did not think was going to happen growing up here. So to be able to see God be able to bring that to fruition is just amazing to me. So that's Sue Ham Entertainment. We exist, to bring entertainment that helps to, my motto, to help you to live, love, learn, and laugh, to follow your dreams to success.
And, Sue Ham, I've been following your journey on Facebook. So that's the wonderful thing. One of the positive things about social media is you can follow folks and see their growth. And I've been following. So I really am honored and just delighted that you came onto the show because I've seen you in local media. I've seen you in national media. So for you to come on this show is a great thing. So this did not.
You are Marilyn. Are you kidding me? Come on this show.
But you know, when I started Gotta Get Your Chamber of Commerce, one of the things I said was collaboration.
Mm.
And if you're going to collaborate with someone, you got to uplift them. You can't, and you know, we hear that kind of things in our community where we not necessarily uplifting each other. Well, I'm first of all, I really don't believe that. I think that's a manifestation of white supremacy when we say that we don't uplift each other, and we have to change that in our heads that that's simply not true. And then we have to put that into action by uplifting each other and collaborating each other, because if one rises, we all should rise. I should be proud of what you're doing, and I am. You know, and that's why I'm just excited to have you here, because I see that. I see the work that you're putting in. And I've heard your story. You did the TED Talk in Andrews. And if y'all don't know what TED Talk is, y'all need to Google it and get hip to TED Talk, because I mean that opens up a whole new world to folks and everything. So I'm really am excited to have you here. So Suham, tell us, how did Suham Entertainment, how did that get in your head? Were you like in high school? Were you in the plays and stuff and all? What brought you into the edutainment world?
Well, first of all, let me say this to your comment. Yes, I do feel like it is ingrained in us that we can't support each other. And I feel like because of that mentality, because of that mindset, that's the reason why we stay on the ground and we never take flight. And I love the fact that your show is addressing the fact of changing the mindset that, yes, there are a lot of us that do support each other. And if we can start to believe that, then we will start to take action and do that even more so. And we can be further than where we are. With Suham, my government name is Sulondia Hammond. All right. So that's a mouthful. I love my name. I really do. But I was in high school. I had some classmates that decided to give me the name Sue. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to chop up my name and go Suham. That'd be my stage name. But ever since the age of 5 years old, I've always known that I wanted to be on stage, performing, speaking, acting, just entertaining people and bringing smiles to their faces. And I wanted to be like a Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson growing up had the biggest impact on me as far as entertainment. This man could impact people no matter what language they spoke, no matter what sex they were, no matter their educational level, their social level, their financial level. It didn't matter. He could touch them. And that's the kind of effect that I wanted my company and I wanted my presence to have on people. So growing up, I adopted the name Suham, and I was like, let's call it entertainment, because for me, I didn't want to be just labeled as an actor. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm an activist, and I'm a businesswoman. So I wanted to call it Suham Entertainment so that I could develop so many different things up under that umbrella. And so being from Williamsburg County, again, not thinking that the dream could really be achieved here, it's amazing that it was achieved here. I think that God has a sense of humor. And that's why I love laughing, because I think God has a freaking sense of humor. That everything that I've wanted to do has actually happened on the grounds in Williamsburg County. Being on national TV, being able to do TED Talk, being able to be in a movie, being able to write stage plays, but more importantly, being able to work with people here in the community to help them achieve the dreams that they have and that they may think is not possible. But then they realize as long as you put the work in and you got the right mindset, any and everything is possible.
That's right. That's right. And the right mindset also includes being creative, innovative, and you can cultivate those skills. As a matter of fact, everybody's born creative. Your creativity just it inspires itself in different forms.
It does.
It does. And people, they think creative, they think art, which it is creative to be an artist, but there are many types of artists. But it's also creative to do computer programming. It's also creative to do event planning. It's also creative to be a school teacher or a principal or a university professor. That's creativity. And I think people in general think creative, they think artist, which is true. But creative is anything you do, but it's really stepping out in faith to do that. And it's so good to see Suham as a role model and just stepping out on faith and putting the work in. That's what you got to do, and be consistent. Well, and you got to be consistent. Go ahead.
You definitely have to be consistent. Ebony, creativity is healing, spiritual, and lucrative. Yes, it is. basically your gifts will make room for you, right? If you operate in your gifting, no matter what it is, you can be creative in that gifting, which will then lead to happiness and joy, which will then lead to the resources that you need to live in this world. And I'm a firm believer that if more people live their purpose, there would be less depression, there would be less crime, there would be freaking less hate. We know we could all get along, get along so much better. But I love the fact that how you said creativity is not just limited to artists, because if you're if you're in law enforcement and you're creative and you're passionate about what you do, then you'll find creative ways to reach the community, to bridge that gap, to be able to help to reduce crime. You know what I'm saying? You're creative, then that child that everyone looks down on that says cannot learn, you will dig deep into your gifts and be creative and find a way to be able to communicate with that child and get them to the next level that they need to be to. So and this I found even with someone, I have to say, lunchroom ladies, when I was at Cade Stephen Elementary, they were so creative to me because of all the love that they put in the food that they provided to us, and then outside of the food, outside of the lunchroom, they were always nurturing and being creative and finding ways to encourage us to be our authentic selves and to be the best that we could be. So, I love that you hit that. But yeah, you got to be creative, whatever is your gift is, and use that and maximize your potential.
I love the way you put that. I really do, and it's so true. And I'm glad that we've brought that topic up and emphasized that topic. And so many times people are boxed in and don't even realize that they're boxed in. I'm reading a book now called Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Have you heard of that book? And it actually speaks not in the terms that we're using, but it speaks in terms of that we are all, the world is a stage and we are born into a role, and the caste and race plays a part in this, but caste is a role from birth. But we can break out of that. So the good thing about her book, and it's actually been a hard read for me, because all of the things that we talk about in our family conversations at church, at the club or at the card game or the cookout, she puts in this book, but she gives us quantitative data. She gives us historical research of why. And caste comes down to we're born in certain roles. But we're really not born in those roles. Those roles have been created by society to keep us in our places. What we have to do as individuals is recognize what is going on so we can know how to break out of that. And her book explains it. And it's a hard read because everything that we talk about that tends to be negative, she's explaining it. Now the question becomes, can we break out of that? And we can do that. And you're an example. Moretta's example, y'all. Moretta coming back. She gonna get on her computer. But but it's up to us as individuals to get to a healthy place so we can become entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneurs are what? Problem solvers.
Yes.
You are in Williamsburg County and you saw a problem and you said, this is what I can do to solve it. And that's where the creativity comes in. So we can actually be in place, see the problems, and use the creativity, innovation to solve that problem. There's so much going on in the community that we can do. The opportunities are there.
Yes.
I drive through Williamsburg, going to Columbia. Well, not recently because of COVID, but, all the time and I see the fields and stuff. And I do think about, what can we plant in those fields that help the community? Like hemp, for example. That's a business. And we can get trained in hemp to grow that. And Williamsburg has so many fields owned by Black folks that they can tap into hemp, for example. What you're doing can grow in Williamsburg because you have that space to grow. But we need to support each other. So I want to hear, Moretta, I'm bringing her back in because I want to hear more about Sue Hammond Entertainment, about y'all plays. Tell me about the process, Moretta, your role, because I know you act in some of the plays and stuff. And so tell us a little bit about that. So you have a play. How do you create that play? And how do you use that play to tap into the community? That's a mouthful.
Yeah. sitting
But
back.
Suham, you started, Moretta, you jump in because I want to hear about the act. I did take acting classes in Arizona, y'all, when I lived out there, by the way. But go ahead.
So this on me or Moretta?
Yeah, go ahead, Suham.
Well, for example, Beautiful Minds was a play about anti-bullying, but more so than just anti-bullying, it was a play about acceptance and love and forgiveness. And we wrote it, and we actually had children in the play from all of the high schools here in our county. And these kids had never been on stage. And okay, I got to tell you, Moretta was one of our acting coaches because it took a lot of work. We were rehearsing 3 days a week.
Yes.
It took a lot of work. One, they'd never been on stage. Two, I didn't know it. She didn't know it until we'd gotten almost through the play that the majority of the children that were in the play had been bullied. So now, you think you're just writing a play to impact people outside of your production, and you touching people in the production. And that to me was a major thing. One of the things I will say is that these productions definitely cannot go off without a hinge. If we did not have my producing partner, Maurice Perkins, if we didn't have Coretta Fulton, if we did not have Moretta Wilson Dorsey, people see my face. I'm the one that's in front, the big mouth, the blonde hair. But please believe that these things could not happen, or without my sister, Shanika Hammond Brown, these things cannot happen without the core people who are there to make sure the train stays together. So I'll toss it to you, Moretta.
I think the benefit of working with Suham and Suham Entertainment is the passion that she has for her craft, and it makes you want to do better. When someone is genuine and not about an agenda, it really shines through, and it makes you want to give your best in any particular situation. So it is always about the teamwork. She always recognizes the team. She's never an I person. You know how you have those individuals, I did this and I accomplished that. Every time we talk to, I don't care what type of conversation, it's we. And I'm like, ma'am,
Yes.
it's your accomplishment, but no, we did this and we did that. And so it's about inclusivity. So that mindset in itself makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel like I am bringing something to the table, and whatever is being said is valuable. And so if it's incorporated or not, it still makes you feel like you're a part of the process, and it makes you more comfortable and more relaxed. And you can forge ahead and decide that, hey, you know what? I'm a part of something great. Whether people feel that it's just Williamsburg County, exactly, it is Williamsburg County. So this is something that has never happened before. So she's innovative in her thought process to having something in Williamsburg. So that takes a lot to step out on faith when somebody says, nothing like this has ever been done. Exactly. So that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
She said,
just because the blueprint. Yeah, and just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it shouldn't be done.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
And a lot of people just assume you have to be in a big city,
right,
or supposedly more wealthy area to get something done, but it could be right there in home where you are in place. All you need is that innovation, as you said, Moretta, that creativity to get stuff done. And I see so much stuff going on, but we need to bring it more into our community and take ownership of that creativity and of that innovation. I got a quick question from the audience here. Let's go ahead and bring that in. Do you go to third parties for financial issues, or do you go to your circle? That's an excellent question. All right. Suham, do you want to answer that?
Sure, it's a really excellent question. I for the longest, Maurice and I were actually producing the shows, meaning we were putting up all the money, and it took consistency, like Marilyn said, to keep doing the shows. Because a lot of times people don't want to invest in you if they don't think that you're serious. So one of the shows, we actually got an investor from Texas, and he actually produced our show in Sumter. What's Gerald's last name? Oh, Gerald Martin. He actually produced our show in Sumter. And then as we developed a nonprofit arm to the company, we actually were able to get other agencies and entities to actually sew into the production. But again, that took, establishing ourselves. And I want to go back to the writing, because we have such a dynamic team, right? I feel like I can be vulnerable with them. Like I would send like the team members, scripts. And I was like, yo, read the script and what you think? And then they'd be like, what's missing? And I think it's so important, but not, to have great team members. I'm going to tie back into the financial, Rico, to have great team members, because a lot of times when Maurice and I were short, our team members came in and it would be like, whoa, bringing food, helping to pay for advertisement, picking up actors. And you got to have a great team. You got to have people that surround you that really want to see everybody win and understand that this thing is bigger than one person. And and I'm just thankful for it. So.
It is always bigger than one person. I'm glad to see that you're surrounded by such a excellent team and folks who understand that. And let me ask both of you, and I'll start with Moretta on this question. How did you as an individual get into that mindset, Moretta, which you could understand the vision that Sue Hamm was portraying and buy into it?
You got some good questions. Moretta, think about it.
We'll just have to go back to, like I said, it's the passion. It's the confidence that this woman has in her skill and ability. And when you believe in yourself enough, when you believe in your brand enough, we're going to follow the path. If you're sure about what you're doing, we're sure that we know what's going on. And that's what it's all about. That, again, you bring that warm and inviting spirit. Everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't have the ability to weld with other folks and, cause things to happen. Sometimes people in charge bring more chaos than anything. And in this event, that was not the case. It was like, moth to a flame. We got to be there. We got to see what's happening. We got to be a part of it. And we want to make sure we make her proud, because this is her product. So you don't want to disappoint the person that gave you an opportunity. So you got to make sure that you're going to bring it in whatever capacity, whether you're backstage, whether you're on stage, whether you're getting things organized for the event, because of the passion and the belief that this woman has in her product. We're behind her 1,000%.
Well, Sue Hamm, go ahead.
Marilyn, I preach ownership, and I always say, that's why I was saying our product, because I've always said to everybody, I said, listen, this is not just about me. I wrote it, but guess what? You're on stage and people all across the world are going to see you, and you may take off. And I'm like, just don't forget about Williamsburg County, Mm-hmm. So it's an ownership thing, because I'm like, listen, some of y'all really need to be on Hollywood, because the gift that y'all have is amazing. And I think too, going back to mindset, if we could teach more about ownership and everybody playing a vital role, then more people will be amped to work together, and we could have so much more as a unit.
That's very true. Very true. I totally agree with that. I'm going to bring up Rico Carolina very quickly. So networking will open more doors for more investors through your current investors. I do want to say something, and then Sue Hamm and Moretta, I want y'all to kind of jump off from it. Money is important, but investment is not necessarily always money. Mm-hmm. It's also resources. When I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, and I'll tell y'all a little bit about my story, I made some bad decisions. I'm a lot of investment of my own money. And what a lot of people don't realize is I lost my car about 3 months after I started the Gullah Geechee Chamber. And I walked for a year and a half. But I walked, but I also had people picking me up and taking me places because they saw the work I was putting in. That was not only a financial investment for me, it was my time, it was my passion, it was me being consistent and people seeing the work I was putting in. And what that led to is people offering me rides, taking me places that led me to work. And as I got certain new clients and stuff, that led to other clients that now when I got a car, yes, it is a used car. And I'll tell you in a minute why I got a used car, but I was able to pay it off. I don't have payments because the lesson I learned to me, if I'm going to do this, I need to pay off a car. I don't need a car payment. So when I started making money, I did two things. I hired a financial person because I'm not my financial person who keeps my books and stuff. And two, I got a car and I paid it off. And I got a used car because, y'all, let's be quite honest. I don't need a new car. I just need something to take me from A to B. and I paid it off. And I joke with people and say, well, if I ever lose my house, I always have a roof over my head because I can stay in my car. And y'all, this is, so when we talk about investment and being consistent, to me, yes, money is important, but what is even more important is consistency. Yes. Showing up when you say you're going to show up. If you're going to do something, do it, and do it to the best standard that you can do it. And that's the investment that we're making that will pay off for you in the long run. And I just want Suham, your thoughts regarding, just that mindset that you have to be consistent. Where do you get it from? Give us some advice.
I think I get it from my parents. Well, I think God sent me here with it, and I think my parents helped to define it even more so. And then the military, the Marine Corps, took it to a different level. But my biggest investment has always been in myself. Because like you said, Marilyn, by me investing in myself, that's what attracted people to invest in my company. I had a decision to make in 2011. I had $5,500 that I had gotten out of a retirement account. And I had the option of saving my 3,000 square foot home out of foreclosure or taking that money and investing it in a stage play, hoping that I would net enough money to, be able to still save my house. But I was like, if I don't, I don't, because like you, I was like, I got a roof over my head. I have brothers and sisters that are here. My mom that's here. I would never be homeless. I have aunts and uncles, friends. Come on. So I put up the show. The show had about 160 people there. So of course I didn't make the money back. And I ended up going into foreclosure and lost the house. Yes, I was a little sad because I moved into a house that was 3 times smaller. But at the end of the day, my biggest investment, I kept telling myself, is in me. What am I willing to sacrifice? When am I willing to let go for this little while so that I can get to the promised land? See, I believe I believe in heaven on earth. I don't believe in I gotta die and wake up in heaven. I believe God wants me to experience heaven right now on earth. So don't make me preach now. So so it was hard. I'm crying and sobbing, and I was pissed off, and I'm just like, come on, God, you gave me all this talent, but you're not giving me any avenue to pursue it. And God was like, yo, I gave you the talent. It's up to you to use it.
That's right.
I really had to get serious about consistency and investing in myself. And I came up with this phrase, consistency rules, because I realized that when I was consistent about posting about what I'm doing, showing people what I'm doing, not just speaking it, but actually walking the walk, people from across the world whom I had no idea of who they were started sending donations to me. That's how I attracted. I believe I manifested the investor, Gerald Martin, to be able to produce our play. It was like, okay, you've been good, Sue. You've been doing the work. Okay, the universe is saying, all right, you serious this time. You ain't gonna quit again. So you know what? Let me give you a little attaboy and send you an investor. Let me send you a check you wasn't expecting. Let me send you somebody from Facebook that you have no idea who they are, but they just want to give you $1,000. Let me open up this door and help you to get a discount on the auditorium that you want to use. Let me send somebody at the radio station that just wants to help you with your marketing. But that didn't just come overnight. I had to prove myself. I had to show that I was good with the little bit I had in order for the increase to come. So I totally concur with you. You just got to be consistent, and you got to show people, because if you just go to people and say, knock on the door, hey, will you invest in me? They're going to look at you like, who are you? What have what have you done? Because I ain't just going to give you my money and you have not proven yourself.
Exactly. That is so true. And Moretta, I want you to answer that one also. But before you do, I want to remind everyone that you are watching A Gathering Place, hosted by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce every Wednesday and Sunday at 4:00. I had to do my station break, y'all. But anyway, so Moretta, share with us your journey and your thoughts.
Well, to both of your statements about where you've come from, it's about despising not humble beginnings.
Ooh.
A lot of people think that, they're self-made, or I'm the best at this, and I have this, and I have these credentials. That's not what it's about. We all have to have a starting point, and we all have a restart point. And sometimes we have to start over after that start point. So it's not about not giving up. It's about having enough faith to say that what's in me has to come out and be given to the world. And that's the blessing that God gives us, that he continues to look out for us even when we don't deserve it. Even when we haven't done the work, he knows, you know what? There's something inside of you that that will inspire other people. And that's what I see with, Gullah Geechee. That's what I see with Suham Entertainment. It's inspirational because what do you have in Georgetown County? What do you have in Williamsburg County that you ladies are now doing something that's innovative and new and fresh that will inspire so many others to come along and do the same things? And that will continue to have a generational flow of talent and blessings flowing out amongst our people. So that's what it's about. Knowing that, what Drake said the best, started from the bottom, now I'm here. But you got to start. And just because you're at the bottom does not mean you will not get to whatever particular place. And don't compare. Comparison is the killer of joy. So don't sit there and say, well, this person, is doing this. This is your avenue. And this is your place. And this is your purpose. So you fulfill this and you're going to be as successful as you can be and beyond, because you're content at what level that you're working at, and you're going to continue to push this, and you're going to see success beyond measure, that for yourself, not based upon what somebody else is doing. Because if you were doing what somebody else is doing, why do they need to do it?
Right.
You have to be the best you that you possibly can be. But also too, you have to have some sort of humility. A lot of people lack that, even when they have nothing, even when they've accomplished nothing, even when they have nothing to show. You can't be braggadocious about something with no accomplishments. And even if you have accomplished something, God gave you that gift and ability and skill. So we have to be thankful to Him, not ourselves. Who am I to praise myself for something? Or I've done all of these things, but it's through Christ that these things happen. So whatever your religious belief is, whatever your thought process, there's a higher being somewhere that has, give you the faith and the thought process to have that motivation, to dare to have the audacity.
That's very true. Go ahead.
And do you see why I like to work with Miss Moretta Wilson? Listen, when I tell you, she is one of the most intelligent persons I have ever come across. And to see a young Black woman as the town administrator, right, of a town is amazing to me, because I've never even thought about politics. I've never even really thought about women in prestigious positions. And I think what I love about Moretta so much is that she is really the type of person that comes in and makes things better. She wants to help people. She's never about the spotlight. It's like her and Coretta, and Maurice, if they could stay in the back, they would stay in the back. And I'm just like, no, y'all got to come to the front. And so I just think she's always singing my praises. I just think she's an amazing person. She's an intelligent person, articulate person, compassionate person, and she's an out of the box thinker. And I cannot begin to tell you, Marilyn, I know you're in Georgetown County, but and Andrews is Georgetown County, but Andrews is also as a part of Williamsburg County. It's a little bit disheartening sometimes in rural communities when you see the potential and you have this vision, and unfortunately, people that live in the county may not catch on real quick, or the persons that are in positions of authority may not catch on. And so I just want to say, Moretta, I'm thankful that you're down with Suham Entertainment. And I'm thankful for what you do for the community. And I'm thankful that young women, not just Black women, young women can look up to you and say, whoa, I have someone I can aspire to be like.
Thank you for that. Thank
you. Yes.
Well, this is what we need to do. We need to uplift each other. And I am just so happy to have you two on, because I try in my way to uplift others, in particular Black females, Black males, because that's who we are. That's who I am. And the world is hard out here for us. It is. And all too often we could be our worst enemies, because I don't believe in the crab in the barrel thing either. That's something we got to put aside, y'all. We got to put aside, because the question people never ask is, how did the crabs get in the barrel?
Ooh,
so we need to let that go. We need to let that go. And if I need to celebrate a Suham, I need to celebrate a Moretta, because that uplifts me. It just makes me feel better.
Yeah,
and I like to feel good.
Because like you said, crabs have no business being in the barrel. They're supposed to be free in the ocean.
They're supposed to be in the ocean.
Right.
And we don't think about that. And we don't realize that's a chain, y'all. We still chained when we talk like that. And we've got to let those things go. And so it's good to have you on here. Rico Carolina is throwing some stuff out there. Rico, it's good to have you on. And I just want y'all to know there's some folks all the way from California. This show is global because I get folks just calling me and from all over, just, when's the next show and everything. So they were excited that Sue Ham was going to be on today. I want to get into the nitty gritty a little bit because Rico Carolina's putting some things out there. He said, don't forget never to go to them without a written plan. And that's actually very important, folks. And it's something people don't realize. With the Gullah-Geechee Chamber of Commerce, I actually have a written business plan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just start this. I went to the College of Charleston to a social impact business class I took. And then I also went to therapy because I suffer from depression. But at the time, I didn't connect the two, but they worked together. So sometimes even we are out there and don't realize that things are being worked for us without realizing the connection. And that from the class that I took, I developed a business plan. And I actually am a little bit ahead of my timeline on my business plan because of what you were saying, consistency, and people started noticing things. And I started getting more clients and more investment, and that has kept me going. But talk about, Sue Ham, do you have a written business plan?
Yes, I do. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm the type of person, right? I fly by the seat of my pants a lot. Okay. I'm looking at my ready. Go ahead. Just a team.
This is where the artist creative thing comes in. I get it. I got you.
Yo, wait, the team, they like, yo, okay. And I'm like, be spontaneous, And then I'm like, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I found that a plan helps to keep me stabilized. It keeps me
keeps you focused. Keeps you working towards the goal. Yeah.
But also I found that with a plan, I can go back and I can measure growth. Or I can measure where I have not grown. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have a plan. And every day, well, I'm not going to lie to you. I try to every day to go back and look at individual goals that I write down every day to keep myself reminded, and subconsciously at night, my brain can work on ways to achieve these goals. So yeah, a plan is definitely important, and especially now going into government alongside Ms. Moretta, I know that a plan is going to be even more important to help advance the community.
Moretta, I want you to answer that also about a plan. I know you're a town manager, but a plan is, the town has a plan. You have a budget, you have a plan, and I want to speak to that also. Then I'm going to come back to Sue Ham about her political career. But go ahead, Moretta.
Like you all, again, I keep going back to things that you said. You learn from your mistakes. So there were certain things, certain pathways. So, okay, I had this plan. This particular part of it didn't work, but that doesn't stop you. That means I fix this portion of it and I move forward. And I got to have a goal. I have to know what my intentions are. I have to know how I'm going to get there. I just can't decide, well, we need to repair X, Y, Z, and it's going to cost $10 million. Well, what's the plan to get there? You have to lay all of that out. Is it a 5-year plan? Is it a 6-month plan? You have to be consistent in knowing what you're going to do, but also too, sometimes best laid plans may be interrupted by other individuals, other powers that be, that may come into play and say, well, you know what? We don't agree with this. And it could be the best option, but sometimes people will hinder your progress and your process. So you have to also be vigilant in your plan. If you believe in it, it's the best thing, you have to fight for it. And a lot of times that's what it's about. It's a daily fight.
That's very true. And the plan keeps you
real quick on that.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why, but it just jumped in my spirit to say this. It's a daily fight. And I just feel like sometimes as a Black woman, when I open my mouth to speak, and I know that sometimes I come off real powerful, but I'm passionate about stuff, right? And so that it comes off powerful. But I just feel like sometimes as a Black woman, I'm looked at like whining, complaining. You know the word I really want to say, start, but I can't say it, or I'm angry.
Scratch.
Right. So I'm angry, but no, I'm just stating, hey, this is what I believe in. This we have the proof to show that this is where we need to go. You're only going against it because whatever, whatever. But when I voice how I feel, now I'm angry,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We have to kind of tread that line a little bit sometimes. But I have found that once I took ownership
Mm-hmm.
of my plan, once I took ownership of my journey, it's almost sometimes that knife cutting through butter.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm passionate about something, things tend to move away. Now, it may not move away the way I expect it to, but it tends to move away because the dots start to connect. And I have found that in my journey with the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. I'm now from the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce that I now have the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I now have the Gullah Geechee Leadership Institute. And then I have my private company, the Hemingway Group. And now I'm getting ready to start another group. It's because I am passionate about what I do. And as opportunities arise, I have found it. Sometimes I have to just step back and go like, wow.
Right.
I mean, it's wild because it's gratitude. I'm like, man, this is like so cool. This is like, this is like so cool because if you stay on that focus, if you stay passionate, if you own it,
Mm-hmm.
things that could trip you up tend to melt away.
Mm.
And you don't even realize it sometimes. So
Thank
go
you
ahead, Suzanne.
because some things gonna have to melt away because the plan ain't changed.
Right.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. You might need to tweak it a little bit, but the goal is not going to change. Thank you.
Go.
Thank you.
I'm down for the tweaking.
Yeah. I got you. All right, so let me see. This is a good question. What are some of the hardships y'all face being Black women in the industry? So the entertainment industry, you got any specific hardships? Some molehills molehills, whatever them little bumps in the road.
I think I don't really. I guess perspective is everything. And I feel like sometimes my team shows me and I look back 2020, hindsight 2020, I'm like, oh yeah, that was okay. But for me, I guess I try to look at everything with positive eyes. I think one of the biggest things that I don't like in the industry is when you're talking about stage plays, people have a tendency to say local stage plays and they tend to think that they are subpar. And when you come to see anything that has to involve with Suham Entertainment and this is not being braggadocious, this is the God's honest truth. Because I believe in utilizing my gifts with excellence because God gave them to me and I love them and I'm free and I get to do it full time. And so when you come to a Suham Entertainment production, it's with excellence. And I don't want people to not come because they think, oh, I've been to the local shows and it's buffoonery. It's not worth the money. There's no story concept. It doesn't make any sense. They don't start on time. Those are totally the opposite of what you get with the Suham Entertainment. I think that that's been one of the biggest hurdles that we've had to overcome. And the way we overcome that is simple. We market like crazy. We deliver on our promises of starting on time. We deliver on our promise of quality entertainment. We deliver on our promises of a great night of theater when you come out. And so then word of mouth takes over and it's like, boom. But it's a hard mountain to climb when you're just, you're getting out there and you're branding yourself.
Yeah, April Garner is going to be joining us in a few seconds. She just sent me. She's been messaging me because she was in a program that she could not get out of. But she's going to be coming in soon. So Moretta, can you add to that?
I will use a statement. Sue, you use this often. Your gifts will make room for you. At the end of the day. So Marilyn, you sat there and you talked about how everything has been expanding for you because this is your purpose, and you're not trying to compete with anybody. You're working in your purpose. And if we lose that competitive mindset, there's something out here for everybody. And if I feel that I have to, do something better than this one or better, then you've lost focus on what it is that you're supposed to be bringing out. So if you're a skilled, artisan, or if you're good at making certain things, if you're good at writing things or whatever it is, do that to the best of your ability. And so many doors and opportunity will continue to open for you. Unfortunately, though, as Mr. Carolina asked about, having some hardships, based upon certain things. Yes, a lot of times people will not want to listen to you, even though you got all of the facts in black and white. This is the way that it should happen. This is the way that it has to happen. And then unfortunately, somebody wants to question your skill or ability, which is insulting in a lot of times. So you have to roll with the punches and just say, you know what, you poor unfortunate soul, you don't know any better. And once your eyes are open, you'll realize that all of this time that you wasted fighting against what should be happening, we could have been much further along in the process. So
That's right. That's right. That frustrates me sometimes too. Go ahead, Suhan.
And it just like when she said that, it just made me think of something. Because you're right. I remember back in the day when I first started out telling people about our shows, and people were like, again, it goes back to the local concept. And then we just started developing these trailers. And then when they see the trailers, they're like, oh, but they automatically just assume it's garbage, So, but again, you got to really brand yourself, and you brand yourself by being excellent and delivering on the promises that you put out to the people.
That's right. That's right. And y'all, this is not an easy journey. I'm going to bring April in right now. And while I bring her in, I'm going to remind everyone, because we got 15 minutes. April, you got good timing. Just let me do a quick station break. I want to remind everyone that you are watching A Gathering Place, a gathering of change makers in the Gullah community, and hosted by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. And we're happy to have our special guests here, including Miss April Garner, who started the network in Horry County and beyond, because once you're on social media, it's bigger than where you are. And that's the wonderful thing about social media. And we wanted to bring these 3 fascinating, wonderful Black women on because they're doing stuff in their community. But we also wanted to talk about the mindset in the Black community, because we have to have this conversation. And I love my people. First, let me preface this with, I love my people. I would not do what I do if I did not love my people. And when I started this journey, it's about me, y'all, because I got to have a retirement. Okay, I got to have a retirement, but I also knew I could help my community. I could be in my community, being a part of it and being a part of solving the problem rather than being part of the problem. And April wanted to read. We talk about this all the time, as a matter of fact, me going on the April show. But April, come on in and update us with what's going on with you. And we've been having, I know been listening to the show and you were finally able to pop in, but update us on what's been going on with you and give us some words.
Okay. Well, first of all, Marilyn, thank you so much for the opportunity to join the show today. This is not my first visit to A Gathering Place, and I certainly hope that it won't be my last. But I'm especially excited because of Miss Sue Ham being in the building. I follow you here in Horry County. I have actually had your name come across my ears a number of times. People here in Horry County are saying, you need to connect with Sue Ham. And I have been following you. And I'm like, she looks like she's a little bit too busy to come over into Horry County and do some things. But what I know about people like us is that we will find time. We will make the time for the things that matter the most. And but I'm going to reach out to you really soon, Sue, and just have, if nothing more than a conversation with you about, some things that you all have been talking about. And just like Marilyn said, actually, I'm multitasking today. I was on a Zoom watching the broadcast and texting her saying, I'm coming as soon as we're done. I'm a part of the Whittemore Community Magazine, and I co-host that show, which is a live stream show. It was radio before COVID and now live stream. And Brother Edward McQueen, who is the publisher of that magazine, received the Citizen of the Year Award from Omega Psi Phi Fraternity during their Founders Day program. So I had to be there for that. Yeah, and congratulations to him. But one thing that Marilyn and I talk about all the time, and we talked about even in the past couple of days, as she mentioned, I am the founder of the network, which is a social group. I'll say it's a group on social media. It's a group on Facebook that is supposed to be a connector of Black business professionals, Black business owners and operators to community. And that's pretty much what I've developed in terms of the brand for the network. What we're finding is a lot of what you all were talking about today, that there's still a lot of education that's needed in our communities and throughout our communities on how to do business, how to make it work, how to network, how to, create awareness of your products and services, how to see the bigger picture and be consistent about moving forward. So all those points I just mentioned, I know you guys know that I was watching the show. And I think that you all made some absolutely wonderful remarks about the things that definitely need to happen in order for our community to thrive and to grow. I always hear people talking about the fact that, you know, we need to resurrect Black Wall Street. We need to, you know, have a list, Black business directory. We need to have this and that. And I can tell you that when it comes down to developing those ideas and concepts, when you put great minds together, you can do all of that. But it takes the people, the support of the people to make it work. Just like it takes the support of the people to make, you know, Sue Ham Productions and her plays successful. She can create great plays all day long, but if you're not filling the seats to assist her with moving forward with some things, then, you know, what exactly are we doing to support each other within our community? And then, you know, what we're doing in terms of the networking and the outreach in the Black community from an economic standpoint, we have to realize that, yeah, you know, we definitely have to rely on other people to make us grow, but we also need to learn how to grow our own communities, to reinvent our communities, to reestablish some things that we've lost along the way. And so you know, my pledge is to continue to do that kind of work as long as I can. And my plea to everyone is just to make sure that when you are given opportunities to elevate and thrive and become empowered and enlightened, that you take those opportunities, no matter how small they are, and use them to your advantage. And what you'll find is that once you become educated, enlightened, and empowered, it's going to be really easy for you to actually make your vision come to life, because you'll have the resources you need. You'll be, you know, actually fortified with everything that you need to move forward. And so it's a mindset thing. It really is, because I told Marilyn, for some reason, it's real easy to get us out for free before 11, and free wings and free everything else. But when it comes down to investing and supporting from a financial standpoint, for whatever reason, we drag our feet there. And I know that a lot of people may look at me sideways, but I'm going to tell you, there's been more than enough ideas that I've created and tried to manifest through the network that have not come to fruition, only because the brakes were pumped for whatever reason. Whenever I said, okay, you know, you need to invest this, you know, these coins in order for us to make it happen. I was just talking to a business owner in the area, and I'm not going to reveal a whole lot about the business owner because you'll figure out who they are. But we were also talking about sustainability of our businesses and just survivorship. You know, how do we make it happen? And the main thing that kept coming up was, how do we bring Black people to the table? How do we bring Black people through the door? You know, they're getting support from other populations and other constituents, but there's not enough of us coming through the door. So how do we figure out what motivates us and what moves us? That's the thing that I think is a big part too, Sue and Marilyn and Mariette. I can't see, I don't have my glasses on. Moretta. I think that that's a really big part of, you know, this notion of being an entrepreneur, and also understanding what it means to develop a business model and to see it through. You know, we really have to understand what moves people and what motivates them to even want what you have. And but you know, the sad part about it is that when we think we have a handle on that, there's still an issue of mindset that, you know, comes from our community. And of course, I'm not here to bash our community at all, but what I am saying is that if we are going to move forward into 2021 and take advantage of these opportunities that are before us, I know there are a lot of people who missed out on opportunities in 2020 because they didn't have their paperwork in order. You know, when things were coming down the pipe. We cannot move into 2021 with that type of mindset. We have to be all about business moving into 2021 and beyond, in order to make sure that if we have a vision or a goal to resurrect Black Wall Street, or to make our Black businesses more viable and sustainable and visible, that, you know, we are ready. And so, you know, that's one of the things that Marilyn and I were talking about. And I was like, I'd love to just, you know, be able to sit in on it. And I wish I could have been in on the entire conversation. But again, you know, I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents based upon what I was watching, and also what we're experiencing with the network.
Sue Ham, you have any thoughts about that? Now, Moretta, I'm coming to you too, because I do have a thought, but I want to hear from y'all first.
Totally. I've been preaching mindset is the name of the game for over a decade. probably longer than that, because at the end of the day, systematically, there are things that are in places to keep us down. I will not argue that. We all know that. Okay. We all know that. But also what's keeping us down is our own mindset. Because at the end of the day, if we don't get our minds together, Reverend Ike has a saying that I love to recite. He says, first work your mind, then you're behind. And if we can understand that we are powerful creatures able to manifest things here on earth, then we will understand that it doesn't matter what economy we're born into or what environment we're born into, it cannot stop us. And I do not speak this from theory, I speak this from experience, because God has allowed me to accomplish. And now I look and I study other successful people, and I'm like, well, what makes them so different? Because they came from even harsher backgrounds, you know? I look at our ancestors who were beaten and lynched, but still had several Black Wall Streets. We're talking about Wilmington. We're talking about Oklahoma. We're talking about Chicago, you know, and they were able to do it. And here we are living in the land of the free.
There you go.
We are still succumbing to excuses. So that leads me to believe that it's a mindset. Yes, I'm not discrediting the systematic racism, the systematic inequalities. It does exist, but it existed more so way back then. And they found a way. And they found a way because they understood that the mind is a powerful thing. They understood that collaboration and partnership and community is a powerful thing. And I firmly believe that, like James Brown said, if you just open up the door, we'll go in there and get it ourselves. But we can't even go in there and get it ourselves if we're not on one accord. And in order to be on one accord, we have to want to, I quote Reverend Ike again, we have to want to be better, do better, so that we can have better. And I will say it to the day I die, even with being elected to office, I am not your savior. The person who is the savior is the person that looks you back in the mirror. And if you can get on one accord and get your mind together, and then we connect, then we can do some things. So the power, and if you want to quote scripture, the power in you is greater than anything outside of you. Anything that means that the power in you can beat anything that exists outside of you. Doubt, jealousy, envy, systematic racism, hatred. You can beat it, but you have to be consistent with your efforts and consistent with your mind and letting yourself know that you are powerful.
I agree too. Yeah, I agree.
Very true, Suhan. Very true. Moretta, any thoughts from you?
Just to piggyback again on what Ms. Gardner was just saying, what Sue was just saying, it starts with you. You are the most empowered person to change anything. But it starts with information too. A lot of times we want to sit there and blame they. Well, who are they? Correct. If you can't even identify who they are and know who's in a position to assist you with something and what questions you need to ask to get what you need, then that's not their fault. That's your fault. So you can't sit there. These people ain't doing nothing for me. Well, one, what do you need done?
That's right.
Do you understand what the policies and procedures are in order for the whatever it is your need to happen? You are the most empowered individual. We can talk about voting and people and how they feel about it. Well, we see that your vote does matter. We saw what happened in Georgia. We saw what happened in Pennsylvania. We saw what happened in Wisconsin. We saw what happened in Nevada. So don't sit there and have the mindset that if doesn't matter. It does. But you have to believe in you enough to decide that you're going to invest in yourself with some information, not just finances, some information. We are in the information world. Everybody has a device. Anything that you want to know, you can pull it up, read it, figure it out. You have so many people that we see on social media sites. Does anybody know about XYZ? The time that you took to post that message, you could have gone to Google and found the information yourself, became empowered with that information, executed your plan, and been done. But it seems like a lot of times people don't want to actually do the work. We want to sound like we want something to happen, and we feel good about complaining, and that is a major problem. We love to complain, but then what's the solution? Stop coming to people with problems until you become a problem solver. I understand we have this problem, and this is how we're going to fix it. This is my suggestion on how we address this particular concern, not just
Mhm.
constantly bringing a barrage of problems. You are a problem. So why aren't you finding your way to becoming the resolver?
Mhm. I
Very
agree with
good.
that.
So
Yes,
true.
yes.
So true.
Uh-huh.
I want to add, and I'm going to sound cold saying this, but I actually do intend on saying it that way. Everybody's not going to finish the journey with you,
Yeah.
and y'all need to
True.
really kind of figure that out real fast. And it took me a while. Don't take as long as me. It took me too long. I'm 55 years old, y'all. It took me
Oh,
about 50
girl.
years. So don't take that long. Okay, you got to real. Everybody's not gonna finish the journey with you,
You're right.
and when you
Yes, sir.
accept that, you will be amazed. The ones who do not mean you well, the ones that will hold you back because they are not ready,
Mm.
will melt away,
Yes.
and the ones
Mhm.
who are going to
Mhm.
work with you and uplift you are going to come and start connecting the dots, and will come start and helping you. But
Mhm.
you have to take ownership of that discernment and recognize everybody's not going to finish the journey. That's just evolution, y'all. That's just life.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to say, but it's the truth. And I had to get that. I don't mean harm to anyone, but I had a situation where someone called me up in a conversation. I listened to them for about 10 minutes, and and yeah, they were attacking me spiritually.
Wow.
Mm.
And then at the end of the conversation, they asked me something, and I said, "Well, I will take your words into consideration." I hung up the phone, and I have never spoken to that person again.
Mm.
Because
Right.
when you try to steal somebody's spirit,
Ooh.
that's the end.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I've seen this person. I've seen this person sit, and I say hello because
Mm.
my mama taught me good manners. I'll say hello, but we don't have conversation.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, because I have a plan. I'm on a journey, and
Ooh.
our community has been too traumatized by systemic problems
Mhm.
for me to waste time on somebody trying to steal my spirit.
Mm.
So they
Absolutely.
done. It's done. You know, ain't no hard feelings. And once you get into your head that way, you can't have hard feelings if you got the passion and you on your journey. Because you ain't got time to have hard feelings. People with hard feelings got time to waste.
Mm.
Well, I know
I
that's
don't have
right.
time to waste anymore,
Ooh,
you
ooh,
know?
I know that's
And
right. Well, look,
mm.
look at Sue. Well, Marilyn, can I say something real quick? Because you're preaching
yes,
today. And I didn't mean to come in here and stir up stuff, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But
yeah.
listen, when you walk in your purpose, nobody can stop your flow and they can't stop your glow. You can believe that. Today's sermon at my church was test your own motives, but don't test God. And
Mm.
the thing about that is
Mm.
that if a just to your point, if a person is about what you're about, and they want to help you walk in your light or help you create the light or whatever, you still have to question what their motives are, because everyone that's hanging out with you, they're not really hanging out with you for the right reasons. And so I think that one of the things that we tend to forget is that it is okay for everyone to have a purpose, a vision, a direction on what it is they want to do. But number one, you don't have to destroy anybody else's shine to get there.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
All right. You don't have to do that. There's plenty to go around. Sue's
It sure
ideas,
is.
Sue and Marilyn may have the same idea that they want to write a play, but Sue is going to do it Sue's way, and Marilyn's going to do it Marilyn's way, and that's
Mm-hmm,
that's that's the
mm-hmm,
bottom line,
mm-hmm,
right? And the
mm-hmm,
and the other part of it is that I don't know that we really understand our own power as Black people. I
mm-hmm.
don't know that we understand
Mm-hmm.
what kind of a force we really can be when it comes to can have and can exert. It can exert when it comes down to business ownership and the things that we impact in society. It is so big and so broad because we are inventors, we're movers, we're shakers. We've done a lot of things. And so, when it comes down to what you're saying about everybody not going with you or along the way, I always tell my daughter, honey, you thriving right now on the fact that you have 100 friends. But by the time you get to be my age, you'll be able to count all your friends on one hand and have fingers left over. So don't worry about that part. Okay. And she's seeing it slowly but surely. But you can't be in it for other people. You got to be in it for what your purpose is. And you got to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you walk in your own light and do what you have been divinely guided to do. And you will reach the people you are supposed to reach.
Right.
Because the haters, they're gonna always be haters. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it that's all there is to it. But you're not doing it for the haters. You're doing it for the ones who want to be, delivered and uplifted and empowered and enlightened. And so, that's why we can't lose sight of what our goals are, no matter who supports. But the idea behind what we're talking about is that I don't believe we're doing it just to say, oh, this is just something I just want to do. I think we all are walking within a particular purpose, and we're trying to bring others into that purpose to empower them as well. But they got to want it. They have to want it.
Exactly. One other thing I want to say is too, we have to take ownership of our trauma.
Mm.
As a community, we have been generationally traumatized.
Yeah.
As individuals, we have been traumatized. We need to take ownership of it so we can heal as individuals. And if we don't begin that healing journey, you will never be a help to yourself.
Nope.
Much less a help to me on my journey, or on Sue Ham's journey, or Moretta's journey, or April's journey. We all have separate journeys, but those journeys uplift each other.
Yeah.
But you can't even get there if we don't take ownership of the trauma and acknowledge. And y'all, there is nothing wrong with therapy. And that's a whole nother show to get into therapy. So I'm just going to drop that seed real quick. But Black folks, y'all go get some therapy.
Yes.
Get some therapy.
Heal yourself.
We need it. I've done it off and on since college because I need it.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't knocking the church, but we need to go get some therapy. It will help solve a lot of issues in us as individuals. Y'all, we are actually over an hour. I'm going to let everybody say some final words and wrap it up. So I'm going to start with Sue Ham. Sue Ham, give us some final words, anything you want to say. Because I'm going to bring you back. But first, let me tell you, I'm bringing everybody back, y'all. We're going to come back together. All right, Sue Ham.
I gotta say thank you so much. This session has been so uplifting to me. All the nuggets that were dropped. I'm so glad it's being recorded so I can go back and watch it and jot it down. But I want to say this. My cousin told me, he said, everybody that comes with you can't go with you. Also want to say, listen. You can achieve anything that you really believe you can achieve. I do not believe that our Creator will give us desires and taunt us if He did not give us the ability to be able to achieve them. So, and I love the fact, I think it was April, you said we don't recognize the power within us. Listen to me clearly, when you begin to recognize how powerful a being you are, that you are a supernatural human being created in the image of the Creator, then nothing, and I'm going to color purple, nothing but death can stop me from it. Okay? Nothing but death can keep me from it. That you have laid out. And I have to remind myself of that because sometimes I get doubtful when I go back to listen. God's not trying to tease me. I'm just trying to talk myself out of my blessing. So go back. Remember who you are. Remember your childlike dreams, and know that you have the ability to make it happen. And then to the Black community, I just want to say this: own your brilliance. Own your freaking brilliance, and don't be ashamed about it or apologetic about it. Also, to the Black community, and this is something that we said on our political campaign, Moretta, is be a problem solver. Don't be a constant complainer. Solve problems. So when we retrain our minds to think like that, it's amazing the endless possibilities and resources that open up to us. My name is Sulondia Hammond, guys, with SueHam.com.
All right, now. Thank you very much, Sue Ham. Moretta, your words.
Just wanted to touch on one thing you talked about with people and getting some healing. There are a lot of tortured souls out there that have been so traumatized that they've become comfortable with that. That is who they've become. And so they spew this insecurity and negativity and hatred on people, and they enjoy it. And that is a problem in itself with us, that anytime that you see somebody being successful, you have to say something negative. Once you start realizing that about yourself, you need to know that you need to fix that. You need to heal. If anybody's telling you that they are in the process of trying to get to the next step or trying to heal, like you said, Marilyn, talking about therapy, and somebody downplays that, then you yourself need to heal. God made doctors, he made psychiatrists, he made psychologists. So guess what? If you have an issue with your heart, you go to the heart doctor. You have an issue with your foot, you go to the podiatrist. You have an issue with your mind, you need to go to the psychiatrist or psychologist so you can get the healing that you need, so you can stop feeling that the world is against you and stop being against yourself. And a lot of times we create issues and we bring all these problems together, but we don't want to be accepting of that. We don't want to take ownership of our role in the process. You know, that, oh, you did this to me and you did that to me. Where did you bring in the trauma on yourself? Because you are already a broken person, to accept it to begin with, or to continue to want to stay in it. Anybody that wants to stay broken, anybody that wants to continue to play the victim, anybody that wants to continue to bring anybody else down, you need to heal. So don't sit there and have that stigma about psychiatry and psychologists and therapy. Get you some help. Those are my closing thoughts.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely.
You said a word. Thank you very much, Moretta. And April.
Yes. So my closing words are all about what our community talks about a lot, which is seeking reparations. I think we need to understand that reparations are more than just money. It's in the form of this knowledge as well that we've all disseminated today. Sue Ham has given some great advice. Moretta has given some great advice. Marilyn is always, communicating great advice. We're all trying to be connectors and movers and shakers, and your reparations are going to come in what you do to make sure that all of this comes to fruition. And so stop looking for money. Stop looking for just a few coins to make you happy for the moment. Educate yourselves, empower yourselves, enlighten yourselves, read good books, seek, great help. Reach out to, if you don't have a mentor, even at 50, I have mentors. Okay, I'm 50 years old. I have mentors as well. And you will find that there's so much more that you can unlock within yourselves that you never thought was there if you will allow someone to tap into it. And just like everyone else was talking about, you have to be able to let go of those things that are holding you back in order to move forward and show what you have within. And so I just challenge all business owners, young entrepreneurs, anyone who's thinking about going into business for themselves, or who wants to even elevate in a business where it might not even be a Black-owned business, but you are the Black representation there. You can get in touch with Marilyn. I'm sure she can connect you with any one of us on this screen, and we can help you. We can talk you through it. And, just to give you some advice, if nothing more, some motivation. Sometimes people need a word just to keep them going through the day. And also the last thing, support. That is such an incredible word, support. There's nothing like having a support system. And if you learn how to support one another, then we don't have to worry about other people supporting us, because we'll be able to support ourselves. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for this opportunity. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in the presence of Miss Sue Ham. I tell you, incredible things you're doing. Keep doing it. And also, I would just love to see a part 2 of this, Marilyn. Even if I'm not a part of it, I think this is the kind of conversation that we need to have in our communities.
Well, the invitation is open, so we'll all just look at your dates, because it's every Wednesday at 4, Sunday at 4. So just look at your calendar, and we'll get together again. So my political conversation is every third Sunday, because it got so good. People were like, do politics. So I got my politics folks coming in every third Sunday. I'll be happy to do this on a regular basis if y'all see it on your calendar, and we'll make it happen. That's what it's about. Making it happen, folks. Making it happen. I want to thank Sue Ham. I want to thank Moretta. I want to thank April for joining me today, y'all. Yes, they are all on social media, Facebook. Check it out. I put it out in the comments, so y'all check it out. You can always contact me, and I will forward your messages to the individuals. They are here to help, because they are here to grow. They're on their journeys, and it's just exciting to bring in brilliant, beautiful Black women and just celebrate ourselves and our community and just give some good advice. Sue Ham, thank you. I know you got to go. And Moretta, thank you. And April, thank you very much. Always good to see y'all. And we will see you next time.
I look forward to connecting with you, April. Thank you, Marilyn.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Moretta. And thank you, Marilyn.
You're
Have
welcome.
a great week.
Moretta,
Happy
I will be
Thanksgiving.
calling you.
Sounds good. All right.
Love y'all.
I'll
right.
see y'all. Good night. And y'all want to remind everyone that A Gathering Place is every Wednesday and Sunday at 4 o'clock. Thank you for joining us today. It was a brilliant show. We went a bit 15 minutes longer than usual, but it was such a good show that we had to do it. And guess what? When you own it, you get to make those decisions and let it go a little bit longer. I want to remind everyone that this coming Sunday, we're talking to vendors of Century Aluminum. This is a company that's being impacted by Santee Cooper because of high electricity rates. And why do we want to talk to those vendors and the community folks? Because this is impacting a Black community, folks. And a lot of folks don't know about it, but I want to talk to some business owners and see how this is going to impact their businesses, which employ Black folks. All right. So we're going to have that this coming Wednesday. So y'all come on back and join us as usual. Thank you for your comments, beautiful comments, folks. We're so excited that you came and joined us today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday. Good night.